We have been running the office together already for several years, and we are very flexible, so sometimes there are more people and sometimes there are just two of us, and now I'm more in the education, and Hurmo has to make the decisions by himself. So we have been really working as real interior architects, so with the physical space mainly. And quite recently we discovered that this is not enough. There is so much information and so much things you have to do also using another layers. So to be sure, where is Tallinn and where is Lucerne? You see, Estonia is a very small country, and this is situated on the coast of a seashore, and Estonians are very much influenced by the sea and also by the nature, which is the identity, and they always want to express these things while introducing themselves. And now also this digital, being part of a digital world is very important, and our government is using, and our university, Estonian Academy of Arts, doesn't know what is paper. There is only digital layers, which makes things sometimes easier, but not always. So the case studies we are introducing you are also situated at the seashore in Tallinn, which is the capital, and half of the population is living there, so it's approximately 500,000 people. To start with the first thing is this shipping container. This is situated in a new area. It's not new area, it has been always there like an industrial area, but now it's thanks to this gentrification, globalizing process, it's like a new part or new city center almost. So I think you can feel that the film you saw just, it was almost real, but actually it was an animation, and as we were asked to take part of an international art biennale, which was some months ago in the seashore there, we had the idea to use a shipping container, and we asked an artist to join with us with this animation. And the question I posed is how to express fear and instability in a small space. So if to talk about the containers, it's a very like usual and normal things for us nowadays, but to go back then next year it will be 50 years when actually these shipping containers were like discovered or taken into use, and after that the consumption and transportation of goods like took another layer. So this is a great model to use to understand about the minimum sizes, how to use space and how to go on. Now on the location there, we were searching where to put it and how to get people in there. And you see there in the building is this art exhibition, and our container, this black box, is kind of a spatial intervention. This is a transportation process, and what we really wanted to do, that if people can enter into this small space, you don't really feel that you are in a stable layer, but so this is already moved, it's tilted, and how to approach and how to really to change the very normal environment. And that's it. And I can say that it was quite different feeling inside there. You have even to hold from the walls to be sure that you stand up and to be there with several other peoples. After that, it was just some days, and they counted about that 1,000 visitors dropped in, so it was quite a big amount of guests for this small art piece and space.
Second project is connected with the EU presidency in 2017. As you know, every half a year, one European Union country is leading European Union, and it was 2017, it was Estonia. And we won competition to design spaces for very high-level meetings and conferences in Estonia and in Tallinn and in Brussels. And Estonians are very proud about our nature, and of course we are proud also about our digital world. As you know, Skype, for example, Skype and Pipedrive or TransferWise is established in Estonia. So how to connect nature and the digital world, it was the main question for us. And how to express for high-level visitors, government leaders, our nature, how to bring it, the nature into the space, into the... So, and it was very brave to use main conference place to put it in old power station in Tallinn, and interior was quite rough. Before this Estonian presidency, all this kind of conferences has been very glancy palaces and conference halls. So, and question was how to use this very rough space and how to bring this idea about nature inside. And we did actually 3 installations in this place, and it's marked by blue here. And idea was to convert images or feelings about nature to digital. How is a forest or water or sea is how it feels in interior. First installation, we put this big screens and sensors, and we got signals from weather stations, different parts of Estonia, and measured conditions of weather. And also, it was first sketch about this idea. And then when people moved, they impact also these screens to make some kind of movements in this installation, in these screens. And in screens we showed sea and how sea in this exact moment in nature. It was an online connection between weather station and this hall. And the first idea was to use these black and white screens, but then important person said that it's not going because it's too dark and too it's too horrible. It's make it more nicer. So its final version is seen here, and small movie about this. So when important people came in, just they saw these screens and movements of people impact what is going on the screens. In this moment, sea is quite in calm situation, but when these people is moving, they are just making waves. Yeah, so the second idea was to hang installation in main hall, and it was a cooperation with artist Gert Ojave, and the idea was the same. We got signals from weather, and the light is moving like weather condition in this exact moment. And third installation was in main conference hall, and actually it was designed like black box. It was really hard to change this like working place because yeah, it was really dark. So we decided to build ceiling, suspended ceiling, just to give more light inside and put a lot of lighting. And we hang this, and first was idea to put this like, to try to put this also some movement in this ceiling, but the final version was also to do this with light. So in a break moment, we put some kind of light installation to express also weather condition. So you see Merkel there. And actually, sunflowers are real flowers, 4,000 sunflowers in this hall. So it was the final.
Yeah. As you all know, if you want to build something or if you want to create an exhibition or do something, you have to pass the competition. So the ideas what to do and how to do and why to do must be really sharp to convince everybody that this is the best project. So Estonia sends every 2 years the exhibition to Venice Architecture Biennale. We don't have our national pavilion, but we have a place, we rent a place in Arsenale, and we posed the question, how long is the life of a building? As some years ago, it's already has been started, and it's a very urgent question, what to do with all these derelict buildings, what have been built, and how to go on with them. So we were searching around what's there in Estonia, what is important if to talk about the architecture, what is not used anymore. And so again, as interiors, we were searching inside very much, and the idea was how to make a story about the previous lives of the building. So there is the silhouette of this old town, and if you try to watch very sharply, there is also the building, and the biggest value of the building is that it is mostly invisible. So if you approach from the sea, you can see the city. So the building itself, this Linnahall Concert Hall, it was huge, and it was built for Moscow Olympic Games in 1980 as the sailing regatta took place in Tallinn, and the architect Rainer Karp, these are the drawings by him. In the concert hall there were or still are actually 5,000 seats for the audience, which is extremely big. And during all these decades, there have been huge concerts of all kinds of different musicians. But it's, built for electronic music and also political events and conferences and things like that. And this is an old photo from the 80s, how it was when the building was built, actually. Now this photo is taken from inside. It has been abandoned nearly 10 years already. So the building is not totally alone there. It's still heated, and there are kind of very, very small actions inside. For example, the police is training the dogs and things like this. But all the time, fans of architecture come to see and want to go in, but the building is actually closed. I can demonstrate now the film what we made to understand what are the conditions, actually. So this is melting snow. And these are the original pieces of furniture. So the building is walkable. You can walk over the roof, so it's a little bit similar concept like in Oslo Concert Hall, like we heard yesterday by Opera House by Björn's lecture. So there is also a port which connects Tallinn with Helsinki. So we had to bring this idea to Venice Biennale, and the topic of Venice Biennale was common ground, so we thought it could be really interesting to share the ideas, what people have been like thinking about this building, how the life has been there, what are the narrations, and how people in Venice actually could relate with it. So we created a space. It was also like a black box where we brought the real pieces of the furniture and also the pieces of the mirrors, of the mirror wall, the doors, the model, and also started to create the space, what you have to do there. At first to paint black, afterwards to paint white again. So the installation process. And also to show the film, to get the idea what is going on there, how is the still life actually working. And what we also did, we made stories with the architects, interior architects, and also the users of the building. So the guests of the Biennale could come in, sit down, relax, and listen to the stories. And it was quite a relevant exhibition at the same time, where also similar projects which were talking the same stories, asking the same questions about Tempelhof airport and things like relevant. So these were the interviews. And finally, I would like you to listen one story, which a little bit maybe opens the mind how we could like continue while building things and then abandoning them.
Ma ei ole tükk aega siia linnahalli taha sattunud ja oma suureks üllatuseks, kui ma siia jõudsin, märkasin ma, et siin on vahepeal kõvasti täiendusi tehtud. Näiteks on minu selja taha kirjutatud Hiina märkidega harmoonia ja igavik, mis ei ole minu jaoks sugugi ootamatu, sest ülikoolis töötades ma näen väga palju noori inimesi, kes proovivad oma maailma just Hiina ja Jaapani mõtte kaudu hakata mõtestama. Aga minu jaoks on ta üllatav sellepärast, et kuna ma omal ajal siin samas kandis õppisin Kalamajas, käisin loenguid kuulamas, siis sattusin ma tihti tegelikult siia linnahalli taha koos sõpradega ja kunagi me siin midagi sellist ei märganud, see maja oli veel tollel ajal suhteliselt korras. Ja see on pannud mind mõtlema selle peale, et kui peaks valima Jaapani traditsioonist ühe sõna, millega kogu seda olukorda saab kirjeldada, siis see oleks ilmselt püsitus, mis on budistlikus filosoofias alati tähtsal kohal olnud. Sest sellel ajal, kui see linnahall ehitati, mitte keegi kunagi ei mõelnud, et ta jääb sedamoodi tühjaks, sellise tondilossina seisma, et neid seinu katab graffiti, et siit treppide vahelt kasvavad välja taimed, kivi kattub samblaga. Aga see on ometi just kõik see, millest Jaapani püsituse filosoofia on kogu aeg rääkinud. Et maailma iseloomustab muutumine ja see, et millelegi ei saa päriselt kindel olla. Ja seepärast mulle tundubki, et see linnahall praegu on teatav püsituse monument. Et see on see koht, kuhu me võime kõik tulla. Ta on teatav altari kujuga või sellise templi kujuga ka. Me võiksime ta ümber nimetada püsituse templiks. Ja tulla kõik siia harrastama budistlikku praktikat, mida nimetatakse püsituse vaatlemiseks. Ja püsituse vaatlemis tähendabki seda, et me saame aru, et mida iganes me ette ei võta, kõikide asjade ots on ühesugune, aga samas see ei ole mingisugune pessimistlik maailmavaade. See, kui me teame, et mingi asi on ajalik, siis me oskame teda temas täies ilus hinnata. Kui me teame, et kirsiõied õitsevad ära, siis me saame paremini aru, kui hinnaline on see hetk, kui ta on parajasti täies õies. Ja seetõttu selline kaduvuse tajumine on väga oluline asi, ma arvan, iga inimese igapäevases elus.
So, thank you for that.